We all knew how Backlash was going to end up just based on the television product that we were given leading up to tonight. We all knew Backlash was going to be a subpar pay-per-view event, being that the WWE put a lot more resources and a lot more effort into the greatest Royal Rumble. It was almost as if Backlash didn't even exist to WWE because of the greatest Royal Rumble. I don't want to come on here and give you guys a Battleground 2017-esque review. I don't want to sit here and rant and rave and give myself a heart attack as I'm recording a WWE pay-per-view podcast. But there was definitely a lot more negative to tonight's show than there was positive. I am going to try my best in this sleep-inducing state that I'm in right now because all I want to do is close my eyes. Backlash was absolutely fucking miserable outside of one match and one match only, and that was, of course, a match featuring the Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. We'll go over that as we get to the match itself. Normally, how I do these things and how I construct my podcasts and my reviews, I go over what we've seen on tonight's show in no real order at all. I go over the top things on tonight's show that I feel are worth discussing, and we're going to tackle them as we see fit. Now, the one thing I want to say right out of the gate with Backlash is that the crowd in New Jersey was really, really, really fucking good. I'm glad New Jersey brought it tonight. I'm glad the tri-state area came out in full support for what was a very, very lackluster show. So good on everyone in New Jersey tonight. In Newark, New Jersey, to be exact. Good on you guys. The one thing that I want to tackle first, and I don't want to make a big deal out of it because we kind of seen where WWE was going with it after it had already concluded. And that is putting the WWE Championship match on pretty much second from the top by putting a tag team match with Braun Strowman and Bobby Trashley versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ahead of it. And then obviously WWE main eventing with Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe for Backlash 2018. I don't know how I feel about that, man. And I mentioned on Twitter, if you are a WWE-related podcast and you talk about WWE, I cannot see how this does not make a topic of discussion on your show. I don't want to make a big deal out of it simply because of the conclusion to the AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura match that we got tonight. And then looking back on it, you can kind of see why WWE did what they did. But I'm going to say this once again, and I'm going to reiterate myself once again to you people. You know, they do it for Roman is said on this show quite often. And complaints about Roman Reigns ring true every single week on this show for a reason. Tonight was evident as to why we go hard in criticizing WWE about their positioning of Roman Reigns. I don't give a shit who you are. This would have never been done while we were watching the product growing up. Never. Never. Now, we don't have stars today like we had when we grew up. We didn't have, the Austins of yesteryear tonight. We didn't have the Rocks or the Hogans or the Bret Harts. We didn't have none of those guys. Okay? But in no way, shape, or form should the WWE Championship be beneath one man. The WWE put Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe on in the main event. For whatever ungodly reason, I don't know why. Because the outcomes of both matches, the WWE Championship match and the Roman Reigns match, both were met with complete and utter disappointment. So if that's the way you want to go off the air for Backlash, having Roman Reigns being booed out of the building, people walking out, people chanting, beat the traffic, people chanting Rusev Day, people chanting Johnny Wrestling, people chanting CM Punk. I don't know why that match couldn't be where the WWE Championship match was. What is the real difference between positionings of both matches on this show? We were going to be utterly disappointed in either ending. I'd much rather have had the WWE Championship match end the way it did last than what we got with Roman Reigns. So I beg to know why WWE positioned Roman Reigns more important in a match with Samoa Joe, who has absolutely no affiliation with Monday Night Raw. There's no championship on the line. The match is nothing but a grudge match built off nothing. Main eventing over the WWE Championship that is on AJ Styles. Let that sink in. AJ Styles, arguably, outside of Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega, you could probably put Seth Rollins in that category nowadays as well. The best wrestler in the world. AJ Styles is not more important than Roman Reigns? AJ Styles, as the WWE Champion, is not more important than Roman Reigns? You put all your resources and all this effort into building Nakamura up in this intense feud by giving him a low blow gimmick on AJ Styles, by changing and altering his great theme music to something that fits his heel persona, by giving Nakamura an outlet to become a dastardly villainous heel, to enhance this feud. That's not more important than Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe? So again, I ask, why? Just for the simple logistics of it, what difference would it have made if AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura main evented over Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe? I don't understand it. It goes to show you that WWE and their political push for Roman Reigns will stop at nothing, and the WWE Championship, the most prestigious title in this industry, is not even immune to the Roman agenda. It's sad. It really is sad. That's the one thing I wanted to get out there, man. If I am booking a wrestling show, in no fucking way, I don't give a shit who you are, on Backlash of all fucking pay-per-views. It's not like this is WrestleMania. The WWE Championship can't pay-per-view main event Backlash? It's a slap in the face of the prestigious title that the WWE Championship is. And it really isn't even, it's not even that prestigious anymore. If that's how you're going to treat it, the prestige and the history of the title obviously means jack shit to the people in charge of this company. I'm sorry to say. I just wanted to get that out there, man. I know you guys, a lot of you guys on Twitter felt the same way. A lot of people expressed their displeasure with that. Just for the simple fact that no man should be bigger than the biggest title in this sport. I don't understand it. If you don't find any reason to be upset at that, if you're a wrestling fan of this product for as long as I have been, you're either a shill, you're either a Roman dick rider, or you're a complete fucking idiot. Bullshit. Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, man. This match, you know, I don't even know what I'm going to say. I'm going to go over how the ending came to be, and then we're going to leave it at that. But most of my arguments and most of my complaints are going to come as I talk about the topics of discussion here. Samoa Joe comes back, cuts some of the best promos of the year on Roman Reigns. Brilliant fucking promos. Promos that have us asking, why doesn't this man have championship gold? Roman Reigns has had some of the worst matches, not only of his career, in 2018, but some of the worst matches in all of WWE for the entire year. Roman Reigns has had some of the worst matches of the year. And some of that can be attributed to who he's been in the ring with, aka Brock Lesnar. Samoa Joe has come out and claimed that Roman is a failure. He's claimed that Roman is broken and beaten, and he was going to just pick up the scraps left by Brock Lesnar. Samoa Joe made the most intimidating, threatening advances towards Roman Reigns. So you figure that when we actually get to Backlash, it's going to be an all-out war. Especially if it's main eventing the show tonight. WWE has done Roman Reigns absolutely no favors whatsoever. And they didn't do Samoa Joe any favors at all tonight at Backlash. How are you going to talk such a big game and have 80% of this match be nothing but a fucking rest hold? Do you know how embarrassing it must be to people watching a Samoa Joe match and the fact that he's in the ring with Roman Reigns, watching nothing but a chokehold for 80% of the match, with the crowd getting obviously frustrated, chanting, "This is boring. Let's beat the traffic." A Rusev Day chant broke out. I was awaiting the fucking Beach Balls to make the return, or make their return at Backlash. People legitimately started walking out. I've seen pictures on Twitter. People were tweeting me that fans were walking out of the arena. Fans in the arena said that they had even dimmed the lights because of the empty seats that were accumulating because of people walking out. You talk all this game, and then you have Samoa Joe go out there and give you a whole match of nothing but fucking rest holds? How does that make any of these men look good? Not even Roman Reigns. How does that make Samoa Joe look in the end? And then here's the kicker. I knew Roman Reigns wasn't going to lose this match, but here's the kicker. Because they do it for Roman. Now, Samoa Joe, a week ago, came out and proclaimed that he wants AJ Styles in the WWE Championship. So Samoa Joe loses a match on WWE television and then is going to present himself on SmackDown Live and challenge for the WWE Championship. So here we have another instance of someone taking an L and then being granted a WWE Championship match. How does that make Joe look? Isn't Samoa Joe the guy with the most momentum out of the two? Why isn't Joe winning this match? This win would have done more for Joe, and it would have made the crowd a lot more happier if Joe won. Especially if he's going to SmackDown Live and he's going to challenge AJ Styles for the WWE title. Where's Roman going after this? Sidebar. Money in the Bank is their next pay-per-view. I had visions and nightmares during the fucking preview of Money in the Bank with the commercial hyping the pay-per-view that Roman's going to win Money in the Bank. Does WWE continue the Roman hype train by having him win the Money in the Bank briefcase and then cashing in on Brock Lesnar because that's the only way he can get the Universal Championship off the beast? If that happens, then you know WWE is listening to this fucking show. I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked whatsoever. But that is a different story for a different day, man. People walking out during a Samoa Joe match, all this big promo hype game, and him putting down Roman Reigns to do nothing but fucking rest holds. Now, granted, the match started off, with a referee trying to gain control of the match. The bell had not rung. Samoa Joe Uranagi Roman Reigns through the table. He threw him all over the fucking arena in the first 5 minutes of the match, and then it went to all rest holds. And then it became a typical Hogan match like we seen in the 80s that we got fucking sick of seeing, right? The babyface getting beat down, he hulks up, big boot, leg drop, boom, it's over. That's the same thing with Roman Reigns. It's the same formula. But only with Roman Reigns, he gets his ass beat most of the match. He hits about 4 or 5 Superman punches, misses a few spear attempts, and then nails the one big spear to end the match. And then everybody goes home fucking sad and disappointed. Michael Hayes. There was a script leaked before the show. Or during the show. Some of you guys tweeted it to me. Michael Hayes was in charge of producing this match. If Michael Hayes is going to produce matches like that, I don't think the guy should be producing any matches anymore. I think he needs to step aside. Now, it's funny that Michael Hayes produced or helped produce the ladder match at TakeOver New Orleans with Shawn Michaels. What happened there? The guy has glimpses of brilliance, and then when we get to Roman Reigns, it's nothing but fucking sleep-inducing, coma-inducing trash. If this is how you're going to book a Samoa Joe match, then I don't think Michael Hayes should be producing anything on the main roster. I feel bad for Joe. He was made to look like a fucking wimp in this match. You know, you could talk a big game, but if you're not going to back it up, and your words are not going to correlate to what you're going to do in the ring, then what is the fucking point? Roman has had some of the worst matches of the year. I don't expect anybody to get that. I don't expect anybody to really agree with me. Nor do I give a fuck. I don't. Terrible, terrible, terrible main event, man. Absolutely god-awful. The ending to the Shinsuke Nakamura AJ Styles match. I'm going to take a page from Owen Hart and say enough is enough. It's time for a fucking change, man. Just let this sink in. The match was billed as a no disqualification match. Now, in my world, that means no rules. No rules apply. Anything goes. One decisive winner. No DQ match ended on a double countout. It's like WWE rewrites the rules as we go along. The rule book is constantly changing every single year. You're going to see that paper faded with eraser. Every year they change something. And they'll scribble in some new fucking rule. Now apparently there's countouts in a no disqualification match. And then the kicker here is the match ended in a double countout as both men low-blowed each other. It's as if the double low blow that Nakamura and Styles delivered to one another was a symbolic message from Vince McMahon, giving the fans a double low blow. You have two of the most talented fucking guys on this roster. One of them being, arguably, the greatest wrestler on the planet right now. And this is how you're booking AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. This, a first time for WWE. Styles and Nakamura, this is how you're booking them. We've seen this match how many times already? In a span of 1 month? And this is the very best, creatively, that you have for both of these men. What are we going to get now? We're going to get 6 more weeks of Nakamura and Styles. What are they going to do different that we have not seen already? It's going to result in a ladder match. WWE has given us a match at WrestleMania. Subpar, it was hyped to shit, and it underperformed. We got it 3 weeks later at the Greatest Royal Rumble. It was much better than what we got at WrestleMania, and it ended in a no contest. WWE gives us the match again 1 week following the Greatest Royal Rumble, and it ends in a double countout. But I guess they answered my question from this weekend's Off the Script Part 1, where we talked about Backlash, and the fact that Nakamura, if he loses, where does he go from here? I guess they're prolonging Nakamura losing because they don't even know where Nakamura goes from here if he loses. Or it may just be a simple fact of WWE, aka Vince McMahon, doesn't really trust Nakamura to take the title and run with the title on SmackDown Live. That could very well be it. Because if WWE trusted Nakamura, they would have already given him the title. And I'm just looking at it from a fan's perspective. How many times can one man get the WWE Championship opportunity presented to him with the same guy, and the outcome has not been changed whatsoever? It's remained the same. WWE more than likely does not trust Nakamura to run with the championship. And I mentioned this on the podcast. My heart says Nakamura, but I just don't see AJ Styles or WWE wanting AJ Styles without that championship. I think their money's going to be in AJ versus Joe. And again, I ask, whether it happened tonight or it happens 6 weeks from now at Money in the Bank, where does Nakamura go after he's done with AJ Styles? Nobody knows. And one has to really be fearful of where Nakamura ends up on the card if he's not going to be in the WWE Championship picture anymore and Joe's going to slide on in there. I don't know. That question is still relevant even now after this pay-per-view is over. I did not really expect a double countout. I expected a winner, and I expected something new and fresh. It looks like we might get some triple threat action with Nakamura still hanging around. Mix in Joe, mix in Styles. We got a nice little component there on SmackDown Live that could present itself as being exciting. But Nakamura, again, where does he go after he fails, undoubtedly, at the WWE Championship? If WWE wanted Naka to win the title, he would have already won the title. So it's sad to see, man. A lot of people were frustrated with the ending. A lot of people that I know personally are just done, and they are singing the same sentiments I am. How do you take these two guys, and this is the best that you put forth with both of these guys? It's sad. It really is sad. And the match itself was not bad. It wasn't a blowaway match. It wasn't like an Okada Omega type match, which I feel still that WWE is holding these guys back for whatever reason. I feel like these guys have a certain limit that they have to go out there and abide by. And I just feel it watching these guys. I feel like they never get out of like third gear. They never fucking ramp it up. We see glimpses of it, but it never reaches that full-on adrenaline fucking rush, you know? It hasn't captured us like... Just picture Almas and Gargano at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. That fucking shit went off the meter. Nakamura and Styles are capable of doing that, but they have not been able to. Which is sad. You're going to handcuff a guy like AJ Styles, who's the best performer on this fucking roster? I don't agree with that whatsoever, man. Let's talk about the women, man. Let's talk about the women. Both of these women's matches were completely God. Let me stress this again for you if you didn't get my first just emotion. Absolutely God awful. God awful. Carmella and Charlotte, man. The one thing that I just want to let you guys in on is just keep this in the back of your mind. Charlotte beat Asuka. The streak was over at WrestleMania. Loses the title on a cash-in. Carmella pinned Charlotte clean. So WWE values a miserable championship run that it's turning into. Maybe too early to tell, but I could tell these things fairly easily. A miserable title run they care more about for Carmella than they do Asuka's undefeated streak, which could have carried the entire SmackDown Live women's division. Just let that sink in for a second. Let that sink in. Carmella bragged about the trolls on Twitter. Everybody has them. They're unavoidable. I know, firsthand. WWE Carmella went on social media to complain about the trolls, that she hasn't wrestled a match or a singles match in almost an entire year. Whose fault is that? It's WWE's fault, right? So Carmella said, wait till I get in there one-on-one with Charlotte to show everybody what I'm really made of. What did you really show us? What did you really show us? Carmella showed us tonight that, A, she is awful at what she does. B, she showed tonight that I regret saying anything positive about Carmella. C, Carmella is the farthest thing from being a champion in this division humanly possible. And I thought Nia Jax was bad. Carmella is just as bad, if not worse, than Nia Jax. I don't see how anybody can get behind Carmella at all. And I'm not talking about how great these women look or how they perform in bed. I don't care. I had one goon tonight tell me, JD, the Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss match wasn't bad. Or I tweeted out how anyone can care about these women is just unbelievable with the shit that they gave us in the middle of that ring tonight. One of the responses was, JD, did you look at Alexa Bliss? That's why. I didn't know her in-ring performance correlates with how nice her tits look or how nice and plump her ass is. You see, you got the simple-minded fucking buffoons on social media who have absolutely no idea what it is to be with a woman who thirst over someone like Alexa Bliss because she looks hot. And they think that means she looks hot, she's got good in-ring skill. This is the shit that I deal with on a daily basis. Carmella is fucking garbage. And I don't care who I trigger. I've said it once, and I've said it again. Time and time and time again. And I'll say it again. And I'll say it again even after this. If this is the best you have for this women's division, this is not an evolution. This is a de-evolution. You're going backwards instead of going forward. Carmella is not championship material. Whatever she did tonight proved why she will never be world championship material for that women's division. Her excessive screaming made me want to legitimately shut the show off or watch the match on mute. I don't see how anybody was pleased or entertained by 10 minutes of excessive screaming. Carmella was in the ring with Charlotte, who according to many is the best female performer in the entire company. Carmella couldn't have a good match with Charlotte. What does that say about Carmella? That even Charlotte, no matter how great she is, couldn't lead Carmella to a good match. That title needs to come off her ASAP. Immediately. What did this win do for Carmella? Nothing. I don't believe anymore in Carmella. The simple fact that she wrestled a piss-poor match and put on a terrible performance tonight doesn't mean jack shit to me that she beat Carmella. I am no fucking fool. To the fucking idiot out there, oh, she beat Charlotte clean, did Carmella. On a technicality because Charlotte missed one of her awful, god-awful fucking moonsaults. And her knee buckled. Whoop-de-fucking-do. What did it do for Carmella? Nothing. The only thing that I thought of is, yeah, that's great. Carmella got a clean win over Charlotte, but Charlotte's the one to beat Asuka, and the streak is fucking long gone away from everybody's memory. It's a great job there, WWE. I see that you got your priorities straight for 2018. Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Nia Jax is just as awful, man. She is absolutely horrendous in the ring. How anyone looks at her and looks at champion is obviously fucking blind. Obviously blind. Now, here's the kicker. Everybody wants to talk about how great Alexa Bliss is in the ring, right? Everybody wants to talk about how great Alexa Bliss is in the ring. Who is the one woman and the only woman to bring a great match out of Nia Jax? I'll give you 5 seconds to answer this because I know the answer because she's a part of many women on this roster's best matches. Anybody have the answer to that yet? No? Good, I'll tell you. Sasha fucking Banks. Alexa Bliss is so great, right? Alexa Bliss is so great in the ring. If she's great, then under these types of situations, she would thrive and prove people like me wrong. She didn't. She didn't. I don't really give a fuck about Alexa Bliss anymore. Alexa Bliss is yesterday's news. She's like the newspaper that's sitting on your fucking kitchen table that's a week old. Trash. Going right in the recycling bin. Done. But Sasha Banks made Nia Jax look like $1 million when they wrestled. Remember that gauntlet match that Sasha Banks won and Nia Jax was dominating everybody in that gauntlet match, and the last woman she had to fight was Sasha Banks. Remember that? Where the women main evented Monday Night Raw. I don't remember when it was or what month it was, but that match went over 30 minutes. Remember that? I do. Alexa Bliss is trash. Sorry to break all your fucking young hearts out there. Alexa Bliss is garbage. Her promo work has nothing to do with what she does in the ring. She may be able to carry a feud for weeks leading up to the match, but when the match is delivered, it's a fucking zero. I'm glad the WWE had Nia Jax even win this match and then go on the microphone and cut one of the most cringe-inducing promos of her entire career. Something that I looked at and thought, well, someone seems to be sabotaging Nia Jax right out of the gate because she's getting boos. Now, New Jersey may be an overly smart crowd, but it's not something I really want to see on my television. Nia Jax claiming that this is what it's about. This is for everyone that's been bullied or everyone that's been abused or whatever the fuck she was talking about. Are you fucking serious? This is what I want to listen to after a fucking terrible match. You made this entire fucking match and sequence completely fucking vomit-inducing. Awful. Awful. Nia Jax cut a promo after this match that made me want to see her lose the championship as soon as she defends it next. I'm glad she got booed out of the building, and that's exactly what happened when she cut this promo. WWE wants to talk about be a star, anti-bullying, this and that. Nothing but hypocritical fucking garbage. Another agenda that WWE is going to push down your fucking throats through Nia Jax, pushing the title to the fucking wayside, making it all about anti-bullying now. WWE's bullying its fucking fans every single week with the shit that we have to put up with. The title has been absolutely worthless. It will continue to be worthless as long as it's on the shoulder of Nia Jax. I'm sorry. Nia Jax has shown no progress in the middle of that ring. And I don't really give a fuck who hears it or not, man. I'm here to be critical. I watch it. I don't have to fucking like it. That doesn't mean they are excused from being critiqued. It's a television show. I have every fucking right to critique what I watch. It's the reason why you guys come here. It's the reason why you guys follow me on Twitter. Remember that. Nia Jax has shown no progress in the middle of that ring. I don't know who would care about anything these women are doing at all. At all. And look at the two championship matches that we got tonight and look at how bad they were. Look at how bad the reaction and the reception was from both matches. This is the best that WWE has for the women's division. Yet, they bypassed Sasha Banks and Bayley for this. Just let that sink in. They bypassed Bayley and Sasha Banks fighting over the Raw Women's Championship for what we seen tonight. Where are all you people who criticized me about Bayley and Sasha Banks not being the match that you wanted, but this is the match that you wanted? You got it 2 months in a row, and it was worse tonight than it was at WrestleMania. Where are you now? Who was right and who was wrong? I certainly wasn't wrong. Sasha Banks and Bayley deserved every opportunity to fight over that championship. That is a match that would get the title over. Whatever they're doing now with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, they have absolutely killed the Raw Women's Championship. I am fucking thanking the gods Alexa Bliss is done with the Raw Women's Championship. Now the only thing left to do is take the title off Nia Jax and put it on Ember Moon. That's the next thing. We have to get the title on someone who represents women's fucking wrestling. Because this is not representing women's wrestling whatsoever. Complete shit. Moving on, man. Moving on. Seth Rollins and The Miz to open Backlash. Man, Backlash opened with a fucking absolute barn burner. Too bad the show after that match completely went into dumpster fire mode. I've said it time and time again, man. I hate repeating myself, but I have to get it out there. You guys have known me for saying this if you've been watching me. On the women's side, Sasha Banks has been the best in-ring performer on both brands. For the men, it's been Seth Rollins. Nobody. And right now, I would actually take Seth Rollins over AJ Styles as far as what he's produced in the middle of that ring in the last year. Seriously. Seth Rollins right now is proving to be not only one of the biggest assets in the ring to WWE, but Seth Rollins may be pushing himself into the top 5 wrestlers category in the world. He's putting himself in Omega, Okada, Styles category right now. And I'm not afraid to admit that. Now, to some of you, he might have already been there, but, you know, I don't put people in that type of position so easily. I don't let my fandom for a superstar, you know, get in the way. I watch things and then I gauge accordingly. I mentioned that the Intercontinental Championship, and I've said this well before WrestleMania. I said this going back to last year's SummerSlam when I was predicting Miz versus Balor for the title at SummerSlam. And the one thing that I was talking about with that matchup, or that proposed matchup for SummerSlam, is to take the title off the Miz because it wasn't doing anything on his waist or around his waist and put it on a babyface. Because a babyface working that title is so much better than having a babyface chase it and having a heel just kind of shit on the title by cheating and using cowardly acts to retain the title. It's okay once in a while, but every single outcome, just like Mahal with the WWE Championship, this is why his reign failed. You know, WWE didn't allow him to be a heel on the microphone. WWE wanted to present him as a heel who cheats to win. That gets boring very quickly. I propose the title be taken off the Miz and put it on a babyface who can work the title. What happened tonight? What happened tonight? What was the result of tonight? Look at the opening match for this show. Seth Rollins, the babyface, worked with The Miz, who, in many people's eyes, is one of the best heels, if not the best, depends on who you talk to, in the company. One of the best heels in the company. Look at the amount of heel heat that The Miz gets. And tonight, it was just more of an appreciation because, you know, the New York, New Jersey crowd, they're not stupid. If you can get over here and you can appreciate someone like The Miz and not boo him in a typical heel-like wrestling fashion, then you know The Miz is doing something right. And his work ethic and how far he has come speaks volumes to how the crowd reacted to him tonight. So it wasn't really heel heat in a genuine wrestling fashion. It was more of, I just want to sit back and enjoy these two because I appreciate the fuck out of both of these guys. But The Miz, deep down, is a heel who has the crowd in the palm of his hand the majority of the time and knows how to work and get heat. Rollins put that title over so much tonight, just by the way he performed and who he performed with. That title looks beautiful in the hands of Seth Rollins because it's the babyface championship. It's the workhorse championship. The babyface holding that title is doing it so much more than having a heel hold on to it. And the title gains a little bit more prestige every single time Rollins wins the way he wins. I've been saying it for fucking years that the title needs to be put on a babyface. And look at the result that we're getting now. Look at how great that match was tonight. That match was better. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. You might agree with me. You might not agree with me. A lot of you tend to, agree with me, but I do want you guys to come up with your own conclusions. A lot of you agreed with me when I stated it on Twitter. That match with The Miz tonight was better than any match that Balor and Rollins had in this entire calendar year so far. And I mean that wholeheartedly. That match was fucking great. That will probably be on my top 10 list for WWE Best Matches of 2018. Everything about that match was great. The predictable outcome, I tried to ignore it. But WWE made you believe in that match tonight that The Miz could potentially pull out a victory, and there was one or two moments where he did get a skull-crushing finale applied on Seth Rollins that I thought The Miz was taking the title back to SmackDown Live. They had me, and they had me worked, and that's the sign of a great fucking match. Now, The Miz is no slouch. What have I said? What have I said? On top of what I said about the Intercontinental Championship. When you have a heel who doesn't use the cheap tactics to get over and get a win, how much more legit does he look? WWE had The Miz try and beg Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel to join him by ringside tonight on the pre-show. They didn't want any part of it. What did The Miz do? He went out there like a man on his own. How much better did The Miz look tonight on his own? How much better did The Miz look in defeat by losing on his own with no outside distraction or outside interference? In my eyes, even though The Miz lost tonight, The Miz was the real winner in this match tonight. Rollins may still be the Intercontinental Champion, but the real winner in this match is The Miz, because of the appreciation that the fans now are showering him with. The fact that The Miz, when he does what he typically does, gets very stale and very boring very quickly. The fact that he went out there on his own and he did this on his own and he lost on his own clean. The Miz looks so much more legit now than he did with the Miztourage, and I hope that continues, because that means so much better things for The Miz, man. And I wholeheartedly agree with what I just said there. I love a good heel who doesn't need to cheat to win. It's not in the rule book that heels need to cheat to win every single time. The Miz is very, very underrated, and when The Miz has someone to work with like a Seth Rollins, The Miz really does shine, man. And this is not the first time we've seen this. We've seen it with Dolph Ziggler, and we've seen it with Seth Rollins tonight. And boy, those two guys work fucking brilliantly together. The only negative I have in this match, the only negative I have in that Intercontinental Championship match that opened the show, was the fact that the skull-crushing finale was done time and time again, and Rollins kicked out. So it makes The Miz's finishing move look a little bit weak. But it goes to show you that the match really wasn't built on the skull-crushing finale. It was built on Rollins' knee. And that was the story of the match tonight as Rollins retained his Intercontinental Championship. The other aspect of this match is I love, it's just so old school, man, and I hope WWE continues with that. When there's not a Cruiserweight Championship match on the card, typically I like matches like that to open the show, but it brings me back to days of old, days of when I used to love wrestling, man, like I did when I was a child. Having an Intercontinental Championship match open the show and having it being as great as it was tonight, man, says a lot about how WWE, still, just very minimal, has a take on what old school mentality is. I love when a show opens up with the Intercontinental Championship. I love it. It just brings me back to days of old. And it goes to show you, too, that match card order is very important. Having a match start like that and a show start like that, very crucial for a show. In this instance, it failed because this entire show was a complete fucking disaster. But it also goes to show you how much faith WWE has in Rollins, which I'm assuming they have a ton of faith in, and The Miz to get this show off to the start that it needed. And I can appreciate that, man. They should be fucking proud that literally nobody was able to follow them whatsoever on tonight's show. Not even Styles and Nakamura. That's how great that match was tonight. So kudos to both men. Great match that will probably end up in my top 10 best matches of WWE for 2018. Other than that, man, that was the majority of the show. The tag team match with Braun Strowman, Bobby Trashley, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn Nothing but house show filler. Trash. Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. I honestly did not even give a shit. I did not care at all. Jeff Hardy retained the United States Championship, and he defeated Randy Orton clean at Backlash. The other match that we had tonight was Big Cass and Daniel Bryan. And this was a big thing as well, man, on social media. A lot of people, agreeing with my sentiment, and I'm glad. I don't mean to come off negative, but I have to give you guys my opinion as I see fit. I have to tell you what I'm looking and what I'm watching at, what I'm looking at or what I'm watching, or how I'm viewing the product. Big Cass is fucking boring. Now, that doesn't mean that Big Cass doesn't have room to improve or room to be a legit fucking great addition to any roster. He has time. But the simple fact that Big Cass, right now, means absolutely nothing to any feud or WWE television whatsoever. The guy is just plain and generic in look. He has nothing special going for him. His moveset is completely fucking unoriginal and boring. There's nothing that stands out. The only thing that he has working for him right now, and the biggest positive from Big Cass, is the fact that he is decent on the microphone. And he's got facial expressions and good emotion, and he's got that down, which still needs some work. But as far as everything else, there's nothing about Big Cass that makes me want to say, yeah, I want to invest my time in Big Cass. He has absolutely nothing going for him whatsoever. The fact that he's in a feud with Daniel Bryan, he should be counting his lucky fucking stars. Anybody else in that position would kill for that position. They would fucking make the most of that. Big Cass tonight, WWE had him tap out to the yes lock, and then they did the stereotypical big man attacks little man at the end of the match in a jealous fit of rage. So I don't know what WWE had planned here. I don't know where they're going with this. Nobody wants to see this continue. We already had Big Cass tap out. And I mentioned already a few different times, I think WWE is best on putting Big Cass with The Miz. That's where his role should be. The storyline here is The Miz and Daniel Bryan. This was nothing but an extension or trying to get another month out of Daniel Bryan and The Miz before we get that eventual match. This was a waste of time for everybody. A complete waste of time for everybody. There's nothing about Big Cass that speaks, yeah, I want to see Big Cass today on WWE TV. He's boring. He has no moveset. And you can clearly see that Big Cass was always second best in the team of Enzo and Cass. There was even chance of we want Enzo. If that is going to be a recurring thing now when this guy comes out, that does not bode well for Big Cass. We finally got the we want Enzo chance. What does that say about WWE pushing Big Cass this soon? He's not ready. He was nowhere near ready. He's green as fuck in the ring. He's got a long way to go before anybody starts believing in Big Cass. And putting him in a feud with Daniel Bryan, no, it's not him learning a lesson or learning along the way. You don't put someone in the ring with Daniel Bryan and say, yeah, he's eventually going to get it the more times he goes out there. No, he should already be ready for this type of match with Daniel Bryan. And again, as always, it was a waste of everybody's time and it underperformed. That's just my opinion on Big Cass. Other than that, this show was a complete throwaway show, man. Outside that Intercontinental Championship match, nothing on this show was important whatsoever. Seth Rollins versus The Miz opened the show. Rollins with a great performance. It was all about the knee. Rollins went for a ripcord knee on the apron and hit the steel post. At that point, that's when the match really picked up, man. There was a figure four attempt, and I loved the facial expression on both Miz and Seth Rollins. Miz, when he had the figure four applied, Rollins reached for the ropes. He dragged Rollins back to the center of the ring, and the Miz's eyes told this entire story, man. It was a look like, I am not letting go of this fucking hold whatsoever. You're going to have to chop my legs off if you want me to break this hold. And then Rollins eventually turned it over. He reversed the figure 4, and that's where things just really picked up, man. Skull-crushing finale, countered. His knee goes out. He countered the skull-crushing finale, did Rollins. But the knee goes out. Miz drops him anyway with a skull-crushing finale for a 2 count. Miz with a flying clothesline in the corner. Rollins at this point out on his feet. Miz goes to the top, wastes too much time, climbs up for the superplex. Those Rollins, Miz hangs on, fights back, sends Rollins to the mat with his knee. Rollins runs right back up, nails the superplex, goes for the Falcon Arrow, but the knee goes out again. Another skull-crushing finale for another 2 counts. One of the only negatives in the match was the skull-crushing finale being used and applied more than once, which kind of takes away from the effectiveness of the Miz's finisher. But it also shows on one hand, so that's why I'm not really being too critical with it, the desire of the Miz to tie Chris Jericho's all-time Intercontinental Championship record. Miz gets up first here with Rollins still on the mat. Rollins still selling the knee injury. Miz puts Rollins on the top, and he climbs up for a super skull-crushing finale from the second rope, but Rollins fights it off. Rollins climbs up, comes down, but Miz takes out the knee in midair. They trade pin attempts. More offense after Rollins misses a super blackout from the second rope. Rollins nails the blackout, but the knee goes out again. So the knee was the story of this entire match, which I absolutely loved, man. In the crucial moments of this match, the knee that hit the steel post was a crucial point in this entire match. Rollins manages to crawl over and get the pin after he hits a blackout. Anyway, curb stomp for the win. Unbelievable opening match for the Intercontinental Championship, man. Like I stated, both men looked good. I think The Miz looked better because of how he handled himself without the Miztourage in this opening match. Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss, completely fucking awful. Nia Jax ends up going for a Super Samoan drop from the second rope, but it's blocked. Bliss manages to send Jax to the mat by kicking her leg out for a 2 count. Bliss with more offense. Another pin attempt. Bliss goes to the top for Twisted Bliss. Nia Jax catches her midair, turns it into a Samoan drop, which looked very sloppy, and she gets the pin for the win here. Nia Jax retains the Raw Women's Championship in what was obviously the come-down match from the Intercontinental Championship. And no, if people cared, they would be a little bit more boisterous. Nobody gave a shit, and this was the bathroom break for the pay-per-view immediately after a 20-plus minute Intercontinental Championship match. After the match, Nia Jax stands tall with the title. Renee Young interviews Nia Jax in the ring, asking what this win means. Jax says it means everything. It means Alexa's moment of bliss is over. This victory is for anyone who's felt less than never good enough. Nia Jax should look herself in the mirror and realize that she is not good enough to be Raw Women's Champion. This is for everyone who's been bullied in school, at work, or on social media. Jax says that you are not alone and it's okay to be different. Who wants to be ordinary? Be extraordinary because your uniqueness makes you special, and that's beautiful. Are you going to a fucking school on career day giving a speech in front of the fucking kids, or are you defending the Raw Women's Championship? Please, spare me the fucking cringe-like garbage and make it again about the title. Keep this shit away from the title and away from storylines. We've had enough of it. Thank God it's over. Please. Then WWE has Michael Cole talk about their anti-bullying program. Is it about the title or WWE pushing anti-bullying? Yeah, because they're so great on keeping up with the anti-bullying. One week they're fucking promoting the anti-bullying. Next thing you know, they got Alexa Bliss making fun of Nia Jax's weight, saying she's carrying around the Women's Championship with 2 turkey legs in her fucking mouth. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, moving on here. Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. This match was over pretty quickly, man. Nothing to it. Nothing stood out. Nobody cared. Babyface Randy Orton is as over as fucking white rice from Chow Ming's down the street. Nobody gives a shit about babyface Randy Orton, man. I was hoping that this would actually start a slow turn for Randy Orton to go heel. But, I was disappointed in that aspect. Orton blocks a twist of fate. Hardy blocks an RKO. Orton catches Hardy with a power slam for a 2 count. Hardy escapes from a move and kicks Orton back into the corner. Orton avoids some boots in the corner by Jeff Hardy. Orton ends up hitting the second rope draping DDT. Orton hits the mat and calls for the RKO. Hardy blocks an RKO and brings Orton down for a 2 count. Hardy, with a twist of fate out of nowhere, runs right up to the top rope for a big swanton bomb, and he pinned Randy Orton out of nowhere. That was it. It was over. Where they go from here, I don't know. Randy Orton should not be getting any more shots at the United States Championship. Hopefully he moves on to something a little bit more exciting and maybe turns heel on SmackDown Live. Something that I didn't think I was going to like, man, but I thoroughly enjoyed. Elias came out for a personal concert. He trash-talked Bruce Springsteen. He said that New Jersey was nothing but a fucking toilet, which it really is, because every time you drive on the Garden State Parkway or the New Jersey Turnpike, it smells like fucking manure. I would know, because I've made several trips to New Jersey with the windows down, blasting Symphony X as I drive past their hometown in Middleton, New Jersey. I smell nothing but fucking diarrhea. So, yeah, New Jersey. Elias is not off in that sentiment. But Elias is trying to have a personal concert here. Out comes the New Day, flinging pancakes, and Big E's got a big drum, and Kofi's got 2 cymbals that he's clapping together like some fucking idiot. And Xavier Woods is gyrating, playing his trombone. Then, all of a sudden, out comes Rusev Day. So we have Aiden English coming out, singing the praises of Rusev. And Rusev talks some trash to Elias. And Rusev says, it's not about the New Day. It's not about Rusev Day. This is my day. This is my time. So he has JoJo introduce Elias again. So then all of a sudden, No Way Jose comes out, and his conga line is there with him. Following right behind is Titus Catering Worldwide. Apparently, Titus had some dance moves in his repertoire because he had put in a nice fucking New York-style cheesecake. So he figured, you know what, let me go out and start dancing with Apollo Crews and Botch, and the cheesecake might be ready when we're finished dancing with No Way Jose. Conga line is there. He's got Titus Catering. He's got Breezango with him. He had a very attractive-looking female right at the front of the conga line. I was like, who's that? Maybe he should have a whole line of those type of women. Because he's got nothing but a bunch of fucking idiots dancing around him, acting like clowns. It actually made No Way Jose look good. Anyway, Elias yells for the fiesta to be stopped. Elias says no more conga line, no more Gang of Freaks, no more Rusev Day, no more New Day. So, all of a sudden, he has JoJo introduce him again. Lights go out, spotlight on him. All of a sudden, Bobby Roode's music hits. You hear the Glorious in his theme song. Lights come on. He hits the Glorious DDT on Elias. And Bobby Roode does his Glorious to everybody. And then he hits No Way Jose's music, and he starts dancing with the conga line. Little cringe there from Mr. Bobby Roode, man. What happened to the Bobby Roode in NXT? I always mention this because it's one of my favorite Bobby Roode moments in WWE. Telling Roderick Strong that he's going to take his wife and show Roddy's wife what a real man is. What happened to that Bobby Roode? Now we got Bobby Roode on the main roster dancing with fucking No Way Jose in his conga line. My God, does Bobby Roode need a fucking gimmick change? Or an attitude change? I don't want a gimmick change. A gimmick's fine. But turn him fucking heel for Christ's sakes. My God. Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan. This match was relatively quick, man. Barely went 10 minutes. Cass, worked over Daniel Bryan with some big power moves, big lariat clotheslines, turning Bryan inside out, big boots. He dropped the Empire Elbow. Bryan got in some offense here, man. Cass turns Bryan inside out with a big clothesline. Cass waits for Bryan to get up. Bryan ducks a big boot and nails a kick. Bryan struggles, but finally brings Cass to the mat. Starts slamming his fist right into his forehead, almost knocking him out. Applies the yes lock, and Big Cass taps almost immediately, man. Very anticlimactic ending. After the match, fans are chanting yes. Bryan is up, and he goes to the corner to pose to do the yes chant, and Big Cass comes from behind and knocks him off the ring apron, man. So, fans are chanting, "You tapped out" to Big Cass. Cass brings Bryan back in the ring as the boos continue. He waits for Bryan to get back up again, floors him with the big boot as he gets up. Cass stands tall over Bryan and raises his fist, and the boos rain down upon ordinary, stale, boring generic Big Cass. SmackDown Women's Championship match, Charlotte Flair versus Carmella. Another awful showing by WWE here for their women. This match was completely god-awful. Carmella wins here after Charlotte goes to the top for her moonsault. She lands on her feet, but her knee buckled on the way down. Now, Charlotte played this well, man. I thought she was legitimately hurt. She quickly pulled down her knee pad, and she started motioning over to somebody to come check on her. But then nobody was in the ring checking on her. So I'm assuming they used that as a storyline angle to get Carmella this win by taking advantage and being sly and sneaky and, like I said, taking advantage of the mishap by Charlotte, which doesn't make Carmella look good because Mella is misery. But this is how they had Charlotte lose this match, man. The missed moonsault attempt, Carmella took advantage of the knee and covered Charlotte Flair for the win. That was it. After the match, Carmella goes up the ramp, runs away, clutches the title, and Flair is holding her knee in the ring as she slowly gets up. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, man. I was thoroughly entertained by this match. There was one instance in this match, man, where we had a steel chair brought into the match. Now, the fans were chanting for tables. We didn't get any tables. We had one steel chair. In a no DQ match, you figured these guys would go balls to the wall, literally, right? There was one steel chair. So we had the steel chair come into play here, and AJ Styles had the chair in hand, and he throws the chair at Nakamura as he's coming at him trying to do a Kinshasa. So Nakamura kicks the chair, and it lands right in AJ Styles' face. The tip of the chair, the head of the chair, hit AJ Styles right in the face on the left cheek, and he got cut visibly, and it looked fucking brutal. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, holy shit, that was obviously not planned. AJ Styles starts bleeding. They showed a clear shot of it. Brutal looking spot there, man. There was some instances in this match where they tried to recreate some of that, strong style. These guys were physically going at it, man. A lot of stiff shots in this match, whether it was elbows from Nakamura, whether it was knees, two styles from Nakamura. They were landing some stiff shots, man. That chair shot being completely unexpected and not really part of what was supposed to happen there. It was a mistime and a freak accident. The steel chair bounced off Nakamura as if it was a fucking tennis ball, and it hit AJ Styles right in the face, man. So AJ Styles hits a Pele kick. Nakamura goes down. Styles goes for the Styles Clash. Can't hit it. Nakamura nails the low blow. Finally, we see the low blow come into play, but it's legal. It's legal in this match, being that it's no DQ. AJ comes right back with a low blow to Nakamura, kind of saying or doing what he said he was going to do. I'm going to play by the same rules. Nakamura wants a low blow. I'm going to low blow. So he gets Nakamura with a low blow. Both are down in the middle of the ring. Crowd goes crazy. Referee counts as they struggle to get back to their feet. AJ standing first. Nakamura gets up. They trade shots in the middle of the ring. AJ headbutts Nakamura. They go to kick each other with low blows, and they both connect at the same time. So they both connect with low blows at the same time. And the referee counts, and it's a double count out. Fans are visibly booing. Upset in the middle of the ring. I don't understand what's going on here, man. We already talked about this in the beginning. I don't want to reiterate myself and repeat myself, but, this is the best that WWE has for this as of right now, and it's very disappointing. Very disappointing. You got two of the best guys on this roster, on SmackDown Live, and this is the best that you got. The best creatively you got. You got Nakamura turning heel, which has enhanced this feud, and you're giving us no decision after no decision. Is it going to lead to a ladder match to end this completely? Because you don't want to pin Nakamura, where AJ Styles gets the victory over Nakamura by not pinning him and just grabbing the title from, the top of the ladder at Money in the Bank. I don't really know what's going on here, man, but I don't know how much longer I can stand this with this no contest. I didn't think WWE was going to get another match out of these guys. I really don't. I really didn't. But it's coming to a point now where for the next 6 weeks, do you trust WWE to keep you interested in this feud? I don't know. They have to really, really, really grab me in the next 6 weeks for me to care about the next match. Otherwise, I'm going to pretty much say I'm moving on from Nakamura. Because if WWE wanted Nakamura as the guy on SmackDown Live, he would have already been the guy. And he hasn't even been booked that bad. He's been booked in a lot of WWE Championship matches, and he won the Royal Rumble. So if you didn't believe in Nakamura, then the decision would have been made to not even put him in this position. But, it's typical WWE. They think that they want to believe in Nakamura, but then they change their mind, and maybe now they don't believe in Nakamura. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, it was a double count out. Very, very disappointing ending for a lot of people, not only watching at home, but in attendance as well. Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, completely throwaway match. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are nothing but glorified jobbers on Monday Night Raw ever since the shakeup. Bobby Trashley, no reaction whatsoever. I am awaiting one day, whether it's pay-per-view or on Raw, for Bobby Lashley to legitimately fucking injure somebody and end someone's career. That standing vertical delayed suplex has got to go, man. It looks awful. It really does. I don't know why he does it on guys that he's going to struggle with. Kevin Owens is not a small fucking guy. Now, Bobby Lashley may be some big jacked up dude, but Kevin Owens is 275 pounds. How long are you realistically going to hold him up there and make it look good? He's not a Sami Zayn where you can hold him up there for about 45 seconds. He tried it with Big Cass. It failed at the Greatest Royal Rumble. He almost killed Big Cass. Almost injured Kevin Owens tonight at Backlash. Trashley. Bobby Trashley. Gonna put a trash can on a t-shirt and put his face right on the trash can. Anyway. This is not even Bobby Lashley, man, that we're complaining about. He's awful as is already. You guys know that. But Braun Strowman. WWE putting him in a tag team with Bobby Lashley, kind of slowing his momentum down. He's pandering to the fucking fans. I don't understand what they're doing with Braun Strowman. This guy is a monster. He should be going after the Universal Championship. He just won the Greatest Royal Rumble. Now he's over here shaking kids' hands and he's getting hot tags. He's playing up the crowd. Trying to play with the crowd during the match. What the fuck's going on here? This guy was fucking committing acts of murder on Monday Night Raw. Now you're having him fucking carry old ladies' groceries at Backlash. Playing with the kids and fucking, what's going on here? This is the Braun Strowman that you want to see. This is the Braun Strowman that we've reverted to now. You're going to make me hate Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's essence is total destruction. Now you got him paired with Bobby Lashley, which is not making me want to see any Braun Strowman segment, being that Bobby Lashley's always going to be there tagged along. This guy should be going after the title. This is why I think that Roman's going to win Money in the Bank. This match was a complete house show throwaway match, man. Trash. Owens and Zayn argue on the floor. Zayn wants to walk away because he knows that they can't beat these two guys. So he throws Kevin Owens back in the ring to get beat up. Then Owens does the same thing to Sami Zayn. He throws Sami Zayn back in the ring to get beat up. So Owens rolls Sami back into the ring. Sami asks Owens what he's doing. Sami brings Owens to the apron and smacks him as things are getting serious between the two. Sami apologizes and says he got carried away. Sami leaves the ring as everyone is mad at him now. Owens and Sami have words. This leads to Owens getting quickly destroyed by Braun and Lashley and then covered. A vertical suplex wins this match. If you can't tell that this match was trash just by the ending, I don't know what to fucking tell you. A vertical suplex ended a pay-per-view match in WWE 2018. Am I watching WWF Superstars back in 1994? Or am I watching WWE in 2018? I can't tell. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe ended this horrendous pay-per-view. And this match was completely underwhelming, man. Outside the first 5 minutes of this match where Joe went into business for himself and threw Roman Reigns all over the announce desks and Uranagi'd him through the American announce table, or the Spanish announce table, rather. He Uranagi'd him through the Spanish announce table and then continued to toss him like a rag doll over the other two announce tables. The German announce table, where they were visibly trying to escape in the crowd just to get away from the fucking destruction. And Corey Graves tried to jump over Roman Reigns as he landed right in front of his feet. This match was completely and utterly boring, man. And I don't want to repeat myself, but it made Joe look fucking weak. You talk all this shit, and then you get into this match with Roman Reigns, and you give me 15 minutes of fucking headlocks and rest holds. And don't tell me Joe's playing a good heel, stalking Roman Reigns, playing the methodical heel here. Joe is worth so much more and so much better than that, man. Give me a fucking break. Whoever's producing Roman Reigns matches from here on out needs to step aside. The guy is absolutely fucking garbage. You are presenting him in the worst possible light possible. Terrible. Absolutely awful, man. 2018 is not Roman Reigns' year, no matter how many people want to praise this guy's work rate. So, Reigns tries to fight out of the coquina clutch, but Joe drops to the mat. Reigns counters, and Joe is forced to break the pin attempt. More back and forth between the two. Joe gets the clutch locked in out of nowhere as the fans go crazy. Reigns starts fading, and Joe tightens the hold. Referee checks on Reigns, but he's still alive. Reigns gets the bottom rope, and the hold is broken. Joe gets up and shows some frustration. Joe brings Reigns to his feet, takes him to the corner. Joe brings Reigns to the top for a muscle buster. I believe this is the first time we've ever seen the muscle buster attempted on the main roster. Reigns fights him off and then jumps off the top but rolls through. Reigns comes right back with a spear. Michael Cole touting Roman Reigns' athleticism for rolling through off the top and then hitting the big spear at the end. Give me a break. Athleticism, hardly. After the match, Reigns recovers, his music goes off the air, and WWE quickly thinks that people are happy with the Roman Reigns non-title win over Samoa Joe in a piss-poor match is the exact way that people want to see a pay-per-view end. This pay-per-view was trash. If you missed this, you did yourself a favor. And WWE has this show, 8 matches on this show. 8 matches on this show. And I'm not even including the pre-show, by the way, which Ruby Riott beat Bayley in a very good match. The pre-show women's match was better than the 2 championship matches. Go figure. Go figure. Ruby Riott is fucking awesome. She is very, very good at what she does, man. But 8 matches on the main show, and it goes past 11:30. There was no reason for Backlash with how little of importance this show did or had to go past 11:30. You're just asking for people to shit on this show by having it go to 11:30. Really. But this was a completely skippable show. If you missed it, believe me, all you need to do is watch the opening match, and everything else after that, please don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your time. So we got Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Hopefully things will get better. Where we go from here, I am fucking thrilled that WWE does not have a pay-per-view from now until June 17th. We have 6 weeks of build for Money in the Bank. Hopefully they can get it right. Hopefully they can get it right. Can we get back on a regular schedule where things on TV matter towards a big pay-per-view? I would love that. And Money in the Bank is one of the big 5 pay-per-views this year. How is WWE going to incorporate the ladder matches? How many ladder matches are we going to see, being that they're both dual-branded pay-per-views now? Are we going to see one for SmackDown? Are we going to see one for Raw? On both men and women's sides. 4 ladder matches is too much. 4 ladder matches is too much. If Money in the Bank is really a part of the big 5 pay-per-views, I would have 1 ladder match for both brands. I would have 4 and 4. 4 men from Raw and 4 men from SmackDown. So we'll see how WWE is going to do this. They may be qualifying matches beginning tomorrow on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live on Tuesday. I don't know. But we'll see how WWE is going to do this, man. I think 4 ladder matches is too much. And then you're going to have Nakamura and Styles in a possible TLC match. How many ladder matches are we going to see? They're going to kill my love for the ladder match. I'm fearing at Money in the Bank this year. But we'll see what happens on Monday Night Raw, man. If you guys missed Off the Script, it was uploaded today at 5 p.m. We talked about Corey Graves and his inadvertent tweet about the Saudi government when he got back to the States. His Instagram post. So make sure you guys talk about that. Jim Ross claiming that the women should not be paid for missing the Greatest Royal Rumble or not being included on the Greatest Royal Rumble. Plus, other news and notes surrounding WWE. So if you missed that, please go and check that out. Part 3 is uploaded on the channel now, along with Parts 2 and Part 1. So go check it out. Show some support. Thank you guys so very much. I'm getting out of here. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notification. Maybe tonight we'll hit 92,000, man. Maybe tonight. I think I'm about 80 away. So if you guys enjoyed what you've seen here, please hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell a classmate. Off the Script is where you need to be every single weekend. right here on YouTube.com. I'll see you guys for Monday Night Raw tomorrow. More gaming content coming up this week as well. God of War and Fortnite streams. Good stuff coming this week, man. Hope you guys can join me. Backlash was terrible. I'm going to sleep. I'll see you guys for Monday Night Raw. Talk to you later.